Hello, family. Wonderful to be seeing you again. Wonderful to hear the word of God and just to be excited about what God has to teach us. I'm amazed always, over and over again, at what God has for us and the word that He speaks. And so we're going to continue to look at the Lord's Prayer. And the one line that we're going to look at today is, Thy kingdom come. So we began, Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. But just the first line, thy kingdom come. I wonder if you've ever wondered about that when you say the Lord's Prayer or even when you sing it. Thy kingdom come. What would that mean for you and me, for the kingdom to come? I want to share some thoughts with you about that. The first I want to say is that we need to be praying for the kingdom of God to come into our lives. Thy kingdom come into my life, into my very being. Because could you imagine if I lived like a true kingdom person? Our lives would be so much different. And yet here we are, we're saying, thy kingdom come. We are asking God, the God of the universe, to pour His kingdom into you and into me. For me, that is a remarkable request. Why would God want to pour His kingdom into your life and into mine? There are several reasons I believe God would want to do this. Because God is a kingdom God. He's a king. He's a ruler. He has a kingdom to rule, and we are part of that kingdom. He is our king. We have a king. We have a king who seeks to live with us in this kingdom. Thy kingdom come. We are recognizing that God is king, that He is the king of the universe, that He is the king of all of that you see before you and all of that you may be and are. Thy kingdom come. So we ask God to be our kingdom ruler, our ruler of our lives. Now, most of us kind of don't want to be ruled by anybody or by anything. And here we're asking God to rule in our lives. Now, to rule in our lives, what changes would happen in your life and in my life? I can tell you now, there'd have to be an awful lot of changes. An awful lot of changes in my life if I was truly and honestly to say, I am a kingdom child, and God is my king, and I am a kingdom child. I'm a servant of this kingdom. There would be a place in my heart where I would always and be in relationship with God. I would never step out of the realm of where God is. And yet, we find this so difficult. We find it difficult to give ourselves over to God so that He will be the king of your life and of my life. We are asking God to rule in our lives. So why would God want to rule? Well, I want to put a few things before you. Because there is a purpose for your life and my life. There is timing. There are decisions to be made. There is a sensitivity. And there is a deep respect for this God who we call King. We call Him King. And we ask that His kingdom comes in your life and in my life. But what if I was to suggest to you that we begin to pray for the kingdom to come in our church, in my church, in your church, where you worship, wherever you worship, for asking God to come and be in our lives, in our church. It is an evangelistic tool that we've never looked at. I'd never looked at it. To think that I'm asking God to come and reign in the town that our church is in Ellsberg, a tiny little town, a town that is full of all sorts of abuse and drugs and alcohol and crime and poverty. And I'm asking God for his kingdom to come into that very place where that church is, and into the lives of the very people who worship there. What would happen if you ask God's kingdom to come in your church? Would it make a difference? I want to tell you that it'll make the world of difference. But let's bring it closer to home. What about asking for the kingdom of God to come into our families? That God is in our families. He is the king of our families. Our husbands, our wives, our children, our relationships. Asking God for his kingdom to come into the very center of who you are, and even into things like your finances, your workplace, your friendships, the places where you go, asking God for his kingdom to come into those places. That's what it's about. You see, so often when we read thy kingdom come, we're thinking of when Jesus comes again. That is part of it. But it's about us now. It's about the here and the now. It's about where we live. It's about much, much more. And I love Matthew 6 verse 33, and it says this, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all the things that are necessary in this earth will be given to you. But the very first thing to do is to seek the kingdom. And we're saying in the Lord's Prayer, thy kingdom come. We are seeking your kingdom first above everything else. Your kingdom first. Your kingdom in my life first. That means I need to surrender. I need to give over my life. And my life is much more than just Barbara. My life is my husband, Peter, my family, my children, my grandchildren, my friends, the church, the country I live in. That's where I live. And I'm asking for God's kingdom to come into my world, into your world, into your home, into the places where you are. You see, as we express God's love and we are able to touch into that love, we begin to express this kingdom. We know that in Revelations, God speaks about the kingdom coming and about Jesus' return. But it's now. Where is the kingdom right now? See, God's kingdom is eternal. And the kingdom that Jesus will bring when he returns is not right now. But what we're asking for. And this is what I want you to hear. And maybe even ask God this week for his kingdom to come in the here and in the now. Right now. In the very place you live in, you work in, you go wherever you go, asking for the kingdom of God to come. Do you think our world would change? I believe our world will just be dramatically changed. See, the Lord's Prayer is that we asking, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. We're asking for the heavens, the kingdom to be manifested in your life, in my life, in our home, in our church, in your workplace, in your family, in your relationships. That's what this is about. Asking God for his kingdom to come into the very center of who you and I are. This week, when you pray the Lord's Prayer, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. I pray that the kingdom will come. I pray the rich blessings of God's kingdom will pour abundantly into you, into your families, into your workplace, into your churches. So may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you. May the Lord be gracious to you and grant you his peace. Amen.